Tell me what it feels like having 18 million people following you.
She has now exposed her daughter Danielle for having an abortion at 14 years old.
Danielle Cohn and Mikey Tua have apparently moved on, but they won't stop shading each other. Danielle's dad, Dustin Cohn, joined YouTube to expose Danielle's real age. Danielle Cohn and her brother, Chad Archambault, shared their tough childhood with Dustin and avoided speaking on Danielle's age.
What's it like living like a majority of your life on camera? Like, have you ever like sat back and thought like, I do a lot of things on a camera when like your traditional person doesn't. Like my hometown buddies, like if I was like, yo, like what you look like, they maybe have like three, like there's like a meme, right? I saw this meme and it was like, dudes take one good photo and use that as their profile picture for 3 years. Like I saw a meme that said that. And it's like true because your average person like never really uses like camera or documentation.
Do you think about everything you post on social media?
I do.
Yeah.
I always think about what I post on social media because mainly with the drama that goes around nowadays, like certain things you can and can't post, and sometimes like people don't realize what they post is bad, and so I always think like, is this a good thing to post? Sometimes I just think like that, but a lot of people don't think what they post.
See, I think about what I post because this sounds so like pseudo intellectual and so like fake deep, but like if I'm putting something out, that's like my digital footprint. And I'm also aware of like whether you have an audience of like 2,000 or 200,000 or 2 million, those are still people who are
100%.
watching. People, I think lots of people think that like if you're just like if you're just a dude living in like, you know, the Midwest just vibing, right? You have like 1,500 followers on Instagram. They're all like your friends, family, and classmates, and like that's just what it is, right? You post up a picture. You don't think that like the 600 people who would be viewing your Instagram story are like actual people. You would just look at that like robots. For people who create,
I do that sometimes.
People just like, you know what I mean? And that's when like it's probably crazy for you when someone would like make an edit for you or like show their appreciation, because it's like, oh my god, like these aren't just random people. Or if you're at a huge level, if you're getting recognized in public, I heard an influencer say that like, getting recognized in public is like fucking insane, because they low-key think that like, oh, the people think if my video gets 1 million views, that's like 1 million like bots.
Have you been recognized in public?
You have?
I've been recognized in public before.
It's crazy. You got recognized at the mall when you were in LA.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What does it feel like?
Being recognized in public, honestly, it's a really great feeling, because it just kind of shows that like literally, like kind of like what you were saying before, that like those like however many people that are watching, like literally everyone can like literally go through your posts and see like, oh shoot, like that's him, that's her, and it's so crazy to think like that, because like having 1 million followers, like you said too, like it's not just random, like it's just not a random number with just bots, it's just straight up real people. And so when I get recognized in public, I'm like, oh shoot, like they're one of those people, they recognize me, and I never knew how they, sometimes I think like how they know it's me, because like I go around sometimes, like when I go to the mall, when I go out, I'm like, is it that person, is it that person?
Right.
So I've always wondered how they know it's me.
The like scariest thing to hear, and like for me it's not like recognized in like public by any means, but like if like I'm like with people, so like friends, and they're like, yo, have you seen his content? And they're like, yo, I'm familiar with Kyle's TikToks. My heart drops, because I'm like, fuck, which video do they know me by?
Yeah.
Like, what was it that they saw that they now, that's their mental thought of me. They don't see me as like they're like, oh, because like, I can only imagine, like, when I meet creators, I'm gonna keep it brutally honest, I do know them by their content. And like, that's why I'm careful about what I post, is because at the end of the day, like, when you put something out there,
it's what you're gonna be known for.
It's what you're gonna be, not only that, but it's what others might make their thoughts based off of. And that's not even just like a digital thing. Like, just because people think that's like exclusive to online creators, like, no. Like, an artist thinks a lot before they drop a single or an album. An actor thinks a shit ton before they drop a short film or a project. So obviously, just because you're creating your content online doesn't mean you're just like shit posting from your iPhone. There's still a thought process behind it. Like, this sounds so whack and so pretentious, but like, before like I maybe post a picture of an outfit, I review it in like the same way that like, you know, a dancer may rewatch a video of them performing before a big show, or the same way a football player would like rewatch highlight clips. I would go through those photos and I'm like, yo, is this something that a kid could see and potentially feel a certain way by, or like provoked emotions by? Because if it's just purposeless and it's just like not something that is a contribution to me, I'm just like, fuck it, like no.
Maybe it's like allergies or something, but I never get allergies this time of the year, so I don't know what's going on.
Is it hard, like, if you get sick as an influencer? Like, do you get off days?
Not really. I mean, it's not like a full-time job where you have to like go into work, so it is a little bit easier. But it is like annoying because if you're like sick and like someone sees you and they're like, oh, like you don't look as good today, or like you look rough, like you can't really just like look rough or like sick without people saying things to you. So it does get kind of hard just because you kind of always have to have like a perfect face on. But yeah, sometimes I don't even try. Like today, I don't even know what my makeup is. I'm just doing whatever. I'm just like, I don't even care.
Do you have to always keep up a certain image on social?
I try not to keep like such a great image on social media, just because I want to have like a more real image so people can relate to me more, and they don't have to feel like I'm this perfect person all the
Can you get a
time.
little tighter on that shot?
So I try to be as real as I can be, just because I feel like it's just better that way and it makes people feel more connected to me. But I mean, yeah, you kind of do have to have like that perfect image, but at the same time I just don't really care to. So I try to just keep my own image and just not really care what others have to say about it.
What's it like if you have a bad day on social media? Like because you don't get an off day, so how do you deal with having bad days?
Sometimes I just won't post. If I'm having like such a bad day and I just don't feel like doing anything, I probably won't post. But I try to just like not really let bad days get to me. So if you notice, I post mostly every day. Just because like, if I don't post, I kind of get messages a lot by like my followers being like, oh my god, where are you today? Like, are you okay? So it's like automatically if I don't post, people think something's wrong, or like even if I don't post like a picture with Mikey for like a week, people be like, oh my god, they broke up. So it does get annoying.
It's pretty high pressure too.
Yeah, because everyone just kind of assumes things and it's pretty annoying. But I don't know. I just am like, no, we didn't break up. No, I'm fine. I'm just not posting today on social media. But
We're currently living in a renaissance, whether or not people want to admit it, but social media is like a second technological revolution. Like, to us, these are all normal things, but we're gonna be telling like our grandchildren, like,
Yeah.
yo, like, whatever, insert crazy app. Like, when I was your age, I posted my shit on TikTok. I bet you don't even know what that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, it'll be like,
I think about that too.
for all we know, like, people are gonna be like making jokes about like Instagram the same way like Facebook. Like, Facebook's a meme, right? Like, everyone makes fun of Facebook, even though Facebook was the shit in like 2011. Facebook was the shit. That's only 10 years ago, right?
It's really crazy to think that now, like, a lot of people that are our age, right, don't really use Facebook that much. They do, but not as much as they use like Instagram, Snapchat.
And it's just funny because I think like maybe 10 years from now, people are gonna be like, you still use Snapchat?
Yeah.
You still, like, you know, like, it's crazy.
That's so true though.
Would you consider your daughter a celebrity?
No, I think of her as just Danielle. I mean, I know she's well known, but I mean, I wouldn't consider her a celebrity.
So, what would you say the biggest challenge is in recognizing her influence, but also thinking of her as your daughter? Because I know that's got to be challenging and called strife. And so, what would you say the number one challenge is?
Number one challenge would probably be out in public. Kind of watch every move you make. Can't have that little arguments or anything like that in public, because people are recording you at all times. They know who she is even with her mask up, so everywhere we go we're recorded. They'll be like, oh, that's Danielle, and then they're recording us because they want something, you know.
Do people outside of your family criticize you?
Oh yeah, all the time.
And how does that make you feel?
At first, it made me feel really like depressed. It was hard on me, but now I'm at a point where I just don't even care anymore. They're gonna say what they want. They don't know me. But I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say it doesn't hurt when you read some of those DMs, because they have no idea what they're talking about. Like, some of the things they say, it's just like unbelievable. Like, you really have no idea.
Why do you think fangirls care about Dani?
I think they care about her because she's real, and like, if you watch her YouTube, you see the real person. So I think like she helps a lot of people with like body positivity. That was loud. Body positivity, and being who she wants to be, and encouraging other people to follow their dreams.
Does that give you, I mean, as a parent, you have to be proud, right?
I'm extremely proud of her, like really proud of her.
What makes you have the most pride?
The fact that she's a very independent young woman, and that she can do this on her own and didn't need help from anybody, and she followed her dreams, because when she was little, she always told us she was going to be a star one day. And you know, you kind of like, okay, you know, it's really, really hard, but okay. And she did it. Like, she accomplished her dreams at such a young age that how could you not be proud of her?
Do you worry, or let me back up actually. Where do you think Dani will be in 10 years?
I think that she will be in school. She will do school, go to college and be a guidance counselor or something. She's been talks to real estate. She likes to be in charge, so I think she will be doing that. But I do think she'll still be doing her YouTube channel, and I really do think that her and Mikey will get married and have a family and record that for everybody. And
it's great.
Yeah.
Tell me what it feels like having 18 million people following you.
Having 18 million people follow me feels obviously amazing, because to know that so many people support me, but it also can feel pretty weird sometimes, just knowing that there's 18 million people following me. Because the way I think of it is, I know that like this is like some math, but I know that like a football field holds like 200k people, and when I go to a football game, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so many people. And when I think about how many followers I have, that's like 100 times those. So it makes me feel like, whoa, I have this many people following me. And it kind of just makes me kind of nervous, because I'm always like, oh my god, like, what am I doing to have these people following me? Like, do they follow me because they don't like me? Do they follow me because they do like me? It just kind of makes me like nervous in a way, and kind of like overwhelmed sometimes. But mostly at the end of the day, it just makes me happy that that many people want to follow me on social media.
Do you think you have influence in the world beyond 18 million people? Like, do you think you have the power to change the world?
Yeah, definitely. I think I have so many ideas that would just really help the world. And also, I have a lot of ideas that obviously I would tell you them and you would be like, okay, like that's not really something for the world. But I know that those ideas could make lots of money, and that money could go to help the world.
So you want to change the world?
Yeah.